because I want to make sure we have somebody local on the show, even when we're live on stage. Matt Hoyt, tomorrow night, his documentary film that he helped co-produce, The Glamour and The Squalor, will be premiering. We're going to talk to him a little bit about the film here on stage. I believe we have a little bit of a trailer of it. Can we show that? Yep.
It's 107.7, The End.
Seattle, get ready for a new radio station that will change your lives. For The End is more than a new cutting-edge radio station. It's a way of creative life for the 90s.
Marco Collins is an American original.
When you thought of The End, you thought of Marco. And you didn't think of Marco Collins, you just thought of one word.
He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a DJ. You gotta respect that.
His passion was fucking exuberant.
I am a dragonfly!
We have a lot in common. Musically.
And we were madmen too.
Boy.
I might have been one of the few people who knew that he was gay. I honestly think Courtney Love told me.
Would I have been accepted by the Nirvana crew if I wasn't gay? I don't know.
Bands that come to mind that Marco broke.
Weezer, forget about it.
Beck's Loser.
Death Cab for Cutie.
President of the United States.
He was the on-off switch for your potential career.
Hey, this is Eddie, and you're listening to Marco Collins, the first person ever to play my little voice on the radio.
He was early on this electronic music thing. The Prodigy, they owe their careers to Marco.
That whole thing just really cracked open the door for, the future of electronic music in America.
He was a celebrity. He was a name brand, just like the bands.
We achieve these certain levels, some dreams come true, and pretty soon it all catches up with you.
Marco had a massive addiction problem. It's heartbreaking. He knows that. My kids love him.
Marco has many addictions, and his addiction to music really is his life.
There's so much more to Marco still that he still has to discover inside.
There's never been another Marco Collins, and there won't be again.
That journey is such a great journey to see and to hear and to watch.
Nobody knows how the movie's going to end, right? It kind of is a mystery.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the episode of the IntelleXual Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Dawson. Thank you for joining us live on stage. Real quick, to my left, Kristin Naomi Garcia. Our guest, Matt Hoyt, Steven Schwartz, Mark Atkinson, and the first time with a mic on stage, Brian Davis.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey there.
Hello.
Matt, The Glamour and the Squalor, you premiere tomorrow night.
Yes, it's a big deal. It'll be the first time San Diego's ever seen the screening of this film. It's been doing a festival run, and because of the timing of the eventual distribution in 2016, we decided to bring it to San Diego because it has a really kind of unique San Diego backstory. The subject of the film, Marco Collins, who you saw in the trailer. I'm assuming people don't see the trailer on the podcast, so it's about the rise and fall.
Well, they might see it on YouTube if
Oh,
you
there you go.
It.
Okay, so there'll be a link.
Yeah.
to your video version of this.
Yes.
So it's about the rise and fall of this really incredible tastemaker DJ who basically birthed the kind of early 90s music scene in Seattle. And the film also kind of tracks his reemergence now that we live in this world that, we're missing out on curation in this day and age, like everything's available to us, but at the same time, nothing's available to us.
It's all available.
We have to find stuff now,
where.
But you don't have that guy whispering into your ear at night like, hey, listen to this track. It's the best thing I've ever heard.
Right, and you don't have a Tower Records down the street.
Yeah, you used to have like 5 of those guys. Now you've got thousands.
Yeah.
So those themes are present there. But the cool part is that Marco got his start at KCR, the college radio station at SDSU, but he also helped launch the local show Loudspeaker on 91X. So we're talking, 20 plus years ago. So this guy was kind of a pillar of the early San Diego local music scene. And so I just happened to be a San Diego filmmaker. I connected with director Mark Evans. He had shot all this principal interview photography, and he said, "Hey, I need a San Diego filmmaker who's going to help me, like, carry this film to what is it? To birth it?
Fruition.
Yeah, fruition. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Nice. And was this the first documentary you've been a part of, or?
I've worked on a lot of like documentary shorts and like experimental stuff. I have a music video background and like a shorts background, but this was the first feature-length documentary I'd ever been a part of. And the reason that the thing that attracted me to it, it's not your typical like talking head time capsule film where it's like, yeah, back in the day we did all this crazy stuff and here's a story about it. It's more like the story of this. It's really a character piece. It's about the study of Marco, and music just happens to be sort of the fabric of his life. It's really about a man on a mission who's kind of been to hell and back, and it just happens to be like he just happened to be surrounded by like Nirvana and Garbage, and so that was kind of Pearl Jam, people like that.
High school.
Exactly. So he's just a fascinating character. He had such a great platform, and such a kind of this rare opportunity to take over a radio station at a time when Seattle was just playing like crappy classic rock. And he took over this station with a bunch of other people that actually had San Diego roots.
Not to offend the classic rock fans in the house.
No, I'm just saying there's if you've been to, look, Heart is from Seattle. They're a great fucking band. I'm just saying, like, it was time
for a change.
He was coming from where radio is all about genre. You've got certain stations for certain things, and at that time, the alternative radio station did not exist.
Right.
And this guy was like, what's the language barrier like on this? Can I say stuff?
Oh,
he was like,
shit.
fuck. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck this. He's like, fuck this
Say
boring,
whatever the fuck you want.
this recycled shit. I'm going to actually take the college radio ethic and I'm going to play whatever I want. So in the trailer you saw, he's talking about playing Chemical Brothers right next to Pearl Jam, Beck right next to, Prodigy. He didn't really care, and fans and listeners responded to it. They're like, "What is this strange music that's coming through these speakers?" And so he kind of launched his like kind of own brand, and he became one of the most influential radio personalities to come along in probably 20 years. I mean, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It was good timing because let's face it, we couldn't take more Vanilla Ice at the time.
There's an excellent yes.
I don't know about that.
Well, I have one question because this is the first time I'm seeing this.
Okay.
But the name is very familiar to me. Did Marco work for 92.1?
He may have. I know the Glamour and the Squalor was one of his early radio show names.
Because I worked with him.
Oh,
at
wow.
92.1.
See, it's a homecoming. That's why we're
Yeah.
bringing the film.
What?
Come to the screening tomorrow.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of early 91
This is awkward.
So do you guys get along?
I pissed him off really
Yeah,
good.
then he's probably someone I'll like.
He's an inspired personality.
Yeah,
He's very.
wow.
Thank you.
So tell me more about this background. I'm curious.
Well, I was a board operator over at 92.1, and he was a DJ, and I was just fiddling with some equipment while he was on the air, and I accidentally stepped on his mic.
Oh, and so he let you have it.
Yeah, he really he went to a commercial and
Did he pull a Christian Bale?
Close to it.
Good for you.
Good for you. What the hell are you doing? Get out.
I don't know him that well, but the contact that I have had has been
probably
cool, but I could see that happening.
Because my one point when you said he was in Seattle at a radio station, was he on Real World at all?
He might have. He's had many lives.
Because he was the house guest on Real World got a job at a radio station. And I believe
I'm pretty sure that happened or something
then
close to it.
it's the right person that I'm thinking of. Okay.
He was supposed to.
Steve just wanted to know how many degrees of separation there actually
I don't want to tell you too much
I
about
just want
the
to know
film.
how many people I pissed off in the world. So.
Well, I'll ask him about it tomorrow at the premiere. You should come down.
Oh, he pissed you off? Oh, okay.
Can we see her hands?
There are hands going up everywhere.
Thank you. Raise your hands.
Sorry.
Dawson sisters.
Okay.
I lost count.
Okay.
Carl Backus.
Love you.
So how long did it
Love
take
you
to produce the documentary?
So that's the interesting thing about my contribution as a San Diego filmmaker is this thing kind of started in Seattle, but the director Mark has been living in San Diego for 3.5 years now, and he shot the principal interview stuff, and he just basically had a team up there and then formed a team down here, and we kind of just figured out a way to execute and get the thing done. So 3.5 years door to door.
Wow.
Which is twice as long as we thought. But I mean, look, this is a film that's its original cut probably could have been close to 100 minutes. It's now running around 88 for distribution reasons and all that other stuff, and it's done really well in the festival circuit. And we've learned a lot about the story that we wanted to tell and trying to cram all these great little nuggets of information that we thought were important. And then sometimes you have to make those difficult decisions, step back and be like, this needs to be an 80-minute film that appeals to the widest.
You literally have to
audience.
divorce yourself from some things.
Yeah, there's a lot of indie bands that didn't get covered in the film. Yeah. I mean, we stuck to Garbage and Pearl Jam, and I mean, Macklemore's in it. That's a bizarre sort of turn there too.
That's odd.
Yeah, I mean, he's responsible for a whole series of style of haircut. From what I could tell.
Hey, Mike, we got a suggestion there.
So that's just one of those things you learn as you start to circulate things to different programmers and you start to get feedback. That's that whole kill your babies sort of cliche, but you do have
Mike Tao said that to me a lot when we were editing the recency of it.
Yeah, and
sometimes you just got to kill your babies.
Well, I mean, I didn't want a lot of the San Diego bands cut out. I come from the music scene. I was in bands. I still do music with friends, and it was hard for me to kind of let some of that stuff go. But yeah, we're really proud of it, and it's going to be premiering at the Arenica in North Park tomorrow, and it'll be the first time and probably the last time you'll be able to see it with an audience before it goes to the normal digital distribution platforms that we...
Are there still tickets available?
There are still tickets available at the door and also online. You can go to 91x.com. They're a huge sponsor. That's why I was so late for this podcast, as I was there talking about the premiere with the team.
You're doing the circuit, man. And we're part of the circuit, folks.
Yes. The IntelleXual Podcast, number 2 stop on the circuit.
Yeah, baby.
We're number 2.
When David asked me, I said, David, you are number 2. You are my number 2.
Who does number 2 act for?
Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations on getting your film done. I've said it many times on the show. It's a miracle to have a movie completed.
It's been almost impossible.
So congratulations on that. I'm going to try and make it out tomorrow night if I can. I'm working during the day. But
I will make you my guest.
We'll see.
Make it a +1.
+1.
+2?
+2.
Okay, yes. So all of you out here, make sure you try and go out to that tomorrow night if you can.
Fans of music and fans of documentary, you guys will really get a kick out of it.
And it looked gorgeous, man.
Thanks.
It really looks fantastic.
The awesome color timing company in Seattle did that.
Nice. So real quick, is there anybody in the audience who have a question for Matt before we let him go? Jody Silly's got a question. Brian, will you grab a mic for her?
Phil
No, you need
style.
a mic. You have to have a mic. No.
We're
This is
recording
going on
this.
YouTube, and the big complaint I got from the 100th is we couldn't hear people in the
Test,
audience.
1, 2.
Do you guys, do you normally...
Jason. Where's
Except for
Jason?
Jason Lethard. Is he here?
Where are you, Jason?
No,
Did he
he's
make
not.
it?
He's not here, whatever.
No? Bummer.
He's not here to make fun of
All
our
right,
guests.
ciao, Jody.
This is embarrassing because it was kind of a joke question. So now I'm on the spot. Aren't you going to be on some TV show coming up?
Oh, there's this... what's
Shameless
this
plug.
show? It's called, Where in the World is Carmen...
San Diego.
It's
Yeah, I know.
Carmen in Diego?
Carmen in Diego.
Film in Diego. I'm going to be on
yes.
Film in Diego. I think it's, it's pilot? Is that... well, I don't know. Where
Who
are you
did
getting
the sound
information
on your
from?
segment?
This really talented dude. I forget his name. He does a podcast. David.
It's a fantastic segment, actually.
It'll be in January, right?
Yeah. Film in Diego premieres on KPBS in January.
And PBS SoCal, right?
And PBS SoCal.
2 networks.
For those of you who don't know, and you probably only don't know if you don't know Jody, because it's all she talks about for the last 6 months. Film in Diego is a 6-part series airing on PBS SoCal and KPBS that's all about us who are making films here in San Diego. It's a fantastic program. She's been working her ass off on it.
Woo!
So is Allie and Mike.
Film in Diego. Film in Diego.
Film in Diego.
Film
Be
in
on the
Diego?
lookout for it in January.
That's
Matt's on a segment, and his piece is fucking cool. It's really cool.
You give this guy a free ticket to a screening, and he'll say
Kristin
anything.
and Mark are on it. So there you go. Are we good? I get a cookie. Any other questions before we let
Mr. Kidwell.
We can just hand that mic
He's my
around.
friend. I know his last name. You can call
I
him
don't know
Chad.
how I feel about these last names for the question asks. Or
Go on, sir.
anonymity.
Chad.
To go back to cutting a film down from 100 minutes to 88 minutes, Is that a collective effort, or how do you pick and choose? I don't,
Well, there's a
feel like that
notes
would be-
process. I mean, in this day and age, Vimeo and sites like that have made it so easy where you can distribute the screener amongst the team. I almost feel like in some ways it's almost too easy to keep sending multiple cuts, because I started to forget and lose track of what cut was when on what date and all that. But it really just came down to having a really talented editor and a really driven director. Mark was very specific about what he wanted to achieve, what he wanted to do for Marco's story and how he wanted to tell it. And sometimes you just sit down with a good editor and they're like, I know you like this part, but it kind of sucks. Like it's good, it's fun for you, but
is that true, Mike Tao?
It's not advancing the story. And so, we were very fortunate to have a very enigmatic, charismatic, intense character as our subject. And as long as we focused on his story and we didn't worry so much about the peripheral stuff, I think that's kind of how those decisions were made. And usually just meant cut that interview, cut that interview, cut that interview, and cut that interview.
Chad, good question.
Thank you for your question.
Anybody else? Jody's got another question.
I have another question. Could you talk just a little bit more about your involvement in San Diego? I mean, I've learned a lot about you through San Diego Film Awards and through the show, but you have a pretty you've talked about your history here in San Diego.
Well, I can't say enough good things about you in Film in Diego, which premieres in January.
That's not the question.
It's turning into the new What's
it's
the
all
Big?
about Jody.
Oh, thank you for these questions that turn into plugs. My story is pretty straightforward. I came back after going to school in San Francisco State, and I went to San Diego State for my master's in film. And while I was there, I was working on film projects for school, and then those kind of turned into music video projects for bands. And as my friends in bands got national record deals and tours, my videos actually started getting watched by people, and I was lucky enough to do a video for a band called Pinback, and that was on MTV 120 minutes, and to see my name in those lower thirds in the MTV font, I was like, yes, I've made it. And I made like $200 profit on the video, because we blew the entire. I don't even think I made $200, to be honest. I think I tried to give that to my friends for food and their time.
That sounds right.
But I have a talented team of friends and collaborators. My friend Jason Sherry, who's a great art director, production designer guy. He's a 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, multi-dimensional artist here in town, and he's got film juice in his blood, if that's even a term.
It is now.
And so
hashtag film juice.
Hashtag film juice. And then I don't know. And then
I want to see that trending tomorrow.
And then it just spilled over into other things. I started writing some stuff.
I'm drinking my film juice.
I'm always working. My film juices are flowing, and so
now it's getting weird.
So I keep doing a lot of different stuff. And so then an opportunity like this comes along. You get a referral from a friend of a friend. You meet a guy like Mark who's living here. He's literally got footage in the can, and I'm like, man, I want to help you execute and get this film done. And I'm a co-producer on it, but I'm also additional DP, sound guy. You guys know how it all goes.
That's the way it works.
I'm even the stand-in for Marco in these weird recreations where we needed him to be passed out on the beach in Coronado. It's till Matt Hoyt. Matt will put on a hoodie at 5:30 in the morning and lay in the dirt. That's a brief tour of, I think, my life so far. And I've been developing a web series for a while now called Antarctic and that's gone to festivals and is trying to find a life of its own. And I just get so damn busy. I'm trying to figure out how to get everything figured out. But 2016 will be good. This thing's done, so that's one thing checked off the list.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
you for joining us today.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for Matt. Hey, Brian.
Yes, I thought that we
He's right
had
there.
one more question, so I was out in the audience.
Did we have one more question?
One more question.
We did have one more question. Michelle, did you have a
Jody
question?
have one more question?
No, no more from Jody.
Okay.
One second.
Love you,
One
Jody.
question.
Oh, Michelle Malum.
I'm sorry, I just had this one question I wanted to
Okay.
ask. Is it on?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We hear you.
I worked in sound, I should know.
Yes.
I was just going to ask, did Macklemore inspire your haircut?
Yeah, I was making that joke.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I was like, he's inspired a whole series. I'm actually not a Macklemore fan. I've been cutting my hair like this for years.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this guy got popular, and now everyone's shaving the.
Eventually it comes around.
I only
Somebody
have
finds
2
it.
haircuts, man. It's this or Shaggy from Scooby Doo, and I don't have a choice.
Zoinks! Okay, there was one more question over here. John Allen.
Sully.
Thank you. As we wait for this
That's
guy,
the John Allen
this
waiting for a
mysterious character,
microphone.
John,
It's not as good as you.
acted in a student film I did for a graduate jury project at SDSU in 2005.
That's all I wanted.
That's all he wanted to say.
Is that really all you want?
All he wanted to watch Brian.
The guy who was going to ask a question, John Allen.
He just wanted to plug.
Yeah. He did a great job.
Okay, one more question in the front row here.
Yes.
We'll go there and then we'll move on. We've got one more guest to do.
You going to be releasing any cut footage?
Ooh, good question. I don't know. That's I know the U.S. distribution plans and as far as DVD and all that is still getting ironed out. So I don't have a release date and I have no idea what that's going to be. But in this day and age, there's so many weird peripheral delivery systems. I mean, you can go to our website and go to our Vimeo page or our Facebook page. You'll find interviews that didn't make it.
Yeah, there's a ton of interviews
There's
on
a
their
ton.
webpage.
That was part of our fundraising and the way we hyped the film is that every time we did a good interview, it's like, oh, we have 3 minutes with the Shirley from Garbage, bam, on the website. Like, let's not
That's
even
the first
wait.
one at the top on the
Yeah,
website.
because that helped, get a lot of buzz going. The Glamour and the Squalor film.com. And glamour is spelled glamour, the British style.
Yeah, the right way.
Yeah, you add an extra vowel. Makes it better.
All right, let's hear it for Matt, folks.
Thanks, guys.